Hi guys, this is again me, Kirill, your justice analyst, live from Germany. Welcome to the part 2 of my final results analysis review. We have already covered most of the countries in the previous video and today we are continuing, and now let's get right into the review. I personally love this performance. I think the song is such a bob, Marina is so charismatic, and I think she should be really proud of this 11th place. The bookmakers were kinda overrating her for some reason, I don't know why. They were kinda expecting that she will be in top 10 for sure. In my prediction before the final, I have put her place 15 in accordance with the jury and as place 8 in accordance with the televote, and I was very close to the reality because she finished 14th in accordance with jury and 8th in accordance with the televote. I was expecting her to finish more like 12th, 13th, but then the Netherlands were disqualified, so I think 11th place is quite justified. Great result for Greece after non-qualifying last year, and for me it was very interesting to see that they got only 7 points from the Cypriot jury, while the Greek jury gave actually 10 to the Cypriot entry, and the televoters in both countries just love each other. They just exchanged 12 points again. I'm so delighted to see Portugal finishing that high, top 10. It's an amazing result, and I was writing in my prediction before the final that Portugal will most probably have the place 7 in accordance with the jury, and it was the case, so I'm really happy to see that. But I'm very much surprised that the bookmakers were not believing in her ranking top 10 at all. So if you take a look at these odds for countries finishing top 10, you can see that Portugal was like 3rd to last, and the coefficient was just mind-blowing high. So if someone of you has taken my advice and has bet some money on Portugal being in the top 10, because for me it was absolutely obvious. Also very interesting to see that most of her televoting points, so 11 from the 13, she got from 2 countries with very large Portuguese communities. These are Luxembourg and France, and Luxembourg is, I think, especially famous for their Portuguese community. I think this is like their 3rd most widely spoken language in the country or something like that. So yeah, very interesting to see now some love for Portugal from Luxembourg. So the host country finishing 9th is of course a great result. I have to say their televoting result 11th place is for me very much obvious. I didn't expect any higher result at all. But when it comes to the juries, I think 8th place is slightly lower than we all would have expected. Normally this kind of slick, modern pop songs sent by Sweden are ranked much better by the juries. Maybe also again for the reason that it's a host country, they decided, well, 1 victory was enough. We will be a little bit more modest with our votes this time, even though they still managed to get 12 points from German juries. Their highest televote result was actually, you could guess, from Norway, of course. They got 10 points from the Norwegian televoters, while the Norwegian juries gave only 3 points. Maybe they were still a little bit bitter that the brothers are not representing Norway but Sweden this year. And also I wanted to say you could have won some money also with Sweden, for example, in these odds for being the strongest Nordic country. Before the final, Sweden was actually placed by most of the bookmakers even below Finland. So the coefficient was of course still not like 10 or 15, but I think it was a very safe bet because it was obvious that Finland, especially with so many televoting baits, will definitely not be in top 10. And also, if you look at the odds of finishing top 10, there Sweden was also having quite a good coefficient. So I think these were some very easy bets which you could have made. What an amazing result for Armenia this year. In my initial reaction where I was reacting to the music video, I was already saying that this is most probably top 10 entry. But then when the rehearsal started, we saw the live shows, we saw how many televoting baits we have this year. I really was not thinking that in the final they will make it to the top 10. That's why in my prediction, I think I have ranked them like 14th, 15th or something like that. But I'm very delighted to see that they got a lot of love, not only from the televoters, but also from the juries. Both groups have ranked them top 10, so very much well deserved. And their highest set of points they actually got from France, which is especially nice taking into account that the duo is actually from France and the guy Louis Thomas is absolutely French. He has absolutely no connection to Armenia apart from being in this duo with the Armenian singer. So a great result, and I'm very happy to see Armenia finishing so high. So moving to the place 7, I have to say now we have a huge gap of like 100 points between this top 7 and the rest, because this year the juries and the televoters have kind of agreed about 7 countries, ranking them all in their top 7s, both by the televoters and by the juries. The only exception is Israel, which was ranked outside top 10 by the juries. They had Portugal on place 7, but apart from that, about the rest of the 6 songs in this top 7, they agreed completely. And now if we talk about Italy, Italy has been ranked higher by the juries, place 4, than by the televoters. Also, in my prediction before the final, I saw exactly the same coming, that she will be ranked quite high by both, but by the juries a little bit better. So I think it is a great result for Angelina Mango. Normally this kind of female vops don't finish that high, so it is a perfect result she can be really proud of. And unfortunately, if we take a look at the Italian history from the previous year, for them it's like one of their lowest results, if not the lowest in the last 5 years. But I still think other countries would have killed for having such a result. Interesting fact, this perfect Mediterranean summer tune was not appreciated only by 5 countries, I mean by the televoters in only 5 countries, which were Iceland, Czechia, Denmark, Finland and Latvia. Also only 1 point from the Irish televoters. So it seems like the Nordic guys, or let's say the northern guys, don't really get this southern vibes. If some of you were thinking that they were summoning a devil on stage, maybe this is what has happened, because Ireland has finished 6th in the televote, 6th in the jury, which actually no one could have ever thought about, and also 6th in overall. So they have now this 666, which is the number of the devil. So I think maybe they have really managed to summon something. In any case, it is such a great result for this unlucky nation in Eurovision in the recent history. They have managed to get their highest points, 20 points in total from televote and jury, from Australia, 18 points, quite surprisingly for me, from Ukraine, who I thought was mostly voting a little bit more conservatively, and 17 points finally from the UK. It was the most captivating performance of this year and something we will definitely remember for the years to come. And now moving 100 points ahead, we have Israel finishing 5th. I'm very happy about this result because Israel was one of my personal favorites this year. I would have ranked this song 2nd in the final, 1st in their semi-final. So I'm really in love with Eden and this performance. I thought it was really magical what she has pulled up on stage, even after all the pressure she had to face, and she's just 20 years old. She is so strong mentally, and she has such an incredible voice. I absolutely adore her for that. So for me, also very interesting to see that my country, Germany, has actually awarded Israel the highest set of points from all the participating countries. We have awarded Israel 20 points, so 12 from the televote and 8 from the jury vote, while the lowest score, so the only 0 they got from all countries, was from Ukraine, so both 0s from the juries and from the televoting, because actually vice versa, Israel has awarded one of the highest sets of points to Ukraine, I think 18 points in total. I also have to say maybe it's for the best that Israel didn't win this competition, because it would have put so much pressure on our favorite contest, on our Eurovision Song Contest, so much criticism for being politicized or whatsoever. I'm happy we're avoiding these discussions, even though I absolutely love this entry, and as I have said, it was one of my personal favorites. What a great result for France this year. For me, it is absolutely mind-blowing that Slimane has managed to get more points from the televote, even though we had so many televoting baits, than from the juries. But the reason for this is quite obvious. You have probably already learned from my channel or from other sources that his performance for the juries on the Friday jury show was unfortunately not his best. His voice cracked, and the ending of the song he kind of failed completely, more or less. So for me, it is still surprising that he managed to be 2nd with the juries. Imagine what would have been in the end if he would have won the jury vote, if he would have performed well for the juries. try to just switch his jury points with the jury points of Switzerland, then actually France would be the winner. If he would have just taken just some part of the Swiss votes, yeah, we will not assume they are switched completely, so that France would be still second and Switzerland would be still first. Most probably Switzerland would not have enough points to actually beat Croatia, so we can only speculate what would have happened. Unfortunately, luck was not on Slimane's side on that jury show, and we have what we have, but I think he still should be super proud of his result. He's actually one of the only 2 contestants who were awarded points from the televote in all participating countries and rest of the world, while juries, probably because of that not so successful performance on Friday night, from 6 countries have actually given him 0 points, but the juries in 12 countries have ranked him first or second, so giving him 12 or 10 points. So a great result, but now let's move to the actual top 3. Somehow, after the initial hype about the song, after it was selected in the Ukrainian selection, where we all were kind of determined it will be definitely top 3, maybe even winning the contest, the hype slowly disappeared with time. I think just simply from the fact that the song has been released such a long time ago. And you can see here in this betting odds that bookmakers were not really believing in Ukraine finishing top 3. I was also personally surprised. I was not really counting on such high result from the televote. I thought there were enough other televoting baits this year, but the performance was absolutely stunning, and I think this very high finish is very well deserved. They were one of my favorites of the final night. I even voted a couple of times for Ukraine myself for the first time, because usually I was not a fan of the Ukrainian entries in the past. And if we take a look at the voting results, only 2 countries in total, like a sum of the points from jury and televote, have given less than 5 points to Ukraine. And this were Serbia, who gave just 1 point from the jury to Ukraine, and Armenia, who has given, I think, 3 points in total to Ukraine. Interestingly, of course, these are the 2 most Russia-friendly countries in the whole competition. So for me, it's a little bit sad that the politics influenced the results, but in any case, Ukraine managed to finish so high. It is such a great result for Ukraine again, and Ukraine is kind of never letting us down, isn't it? There's no going back. I have to say it's kind of sad that baby Lasagna didn't win. It was such an amazing success story. Absolutely unknown name, enters Croatian selection, is not even admitted to the selection first, then they take him from the backup artists list. Then he wins the selection with a huge margin, brings the show and brings Croatia for the first time in their history into top 3. Almost wins the contest, almost brings it to the Balkans back where it was last time in 2008 after Serbian win, but unfortunately it didn't happen. In any case, he has shown an amazing result. He has won the televote. He was awarded points from all the televoting countries. He also definitely profited from the fact that the Netherlands were disqualified, so he could get more televoting points from the people who would vote for the Netherlands usually. And in any case, he received his highest set of points, 24 from Serbia, of course, but surprisingly his second highest score, so 22 points, he received from Iceland, from all countries. And our winner, Switzerland. So in general, you know, after France has failed to deliver in the jury show, Switzerland has kind of became the only. So, and with this, we have completed the list of all finalists. We went through all of their results, talking about their televoting and the jury results, some especially interesting voting patterns. I hope you have enjoyed this. Please let me know down below in the comments about what you don't agree at all, or where you definitely see that I have hit the point. Please like this video, subscribe if you still haven't. There are so many of you watching and not subscribing. It would help my channel a lot. And we will see each other in the next videos. Bye bye.